Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Arsup. It says, am I the arsehole for not allowing my parents to take away my sister's computer and track her finances? Disclaimer, I am not a native English speaker, so I may make mistakes here. All quotes here are translated to English. Here's the issue. I, 19 male, am a college student who lives with parents and has a part-time job so that I have no need to ask parents for money. My younger sister recently turned 16 and she really wanted a new computer for her birthday. She was saving up for a new computer for a while now because she wants to do some gaming and her current computer is very old and slow. When she asked me to help save up money about a year ago, since our parents have forgotten a few times when she gave them her money for safekeeping, and since she is still a minor, I opened a separate bank account in my name and gave her authorization to deposit and withdraw money when she needs it. She had saved up some money but not enough for the computer, so I proposed an offer for her birthday. I would pitch in 50% of the computer cost as long as she contributed the other 50%. She was very happy with the offer, so we bought the computer and I helped her set it up. When our parents saw the computer, they became furious. They demanded that I return the computer to the store, as I refused to do so, as I believe that my sister needs her own decently fast and private computer. Now they are threatening to throw the computer out of the house. I told them that I would agree to reasonable parental control restrictions and would in fact help set them up. But if they took it away, I would consider that theft. They also realized that my sister was using me as a safekeeper, so they are now demanding access to the account I opened for her, so they're able to track the money. I immediately refused a request and told them my sister has a right to entrust her own money to anyone else and have money which is not trackable by them. Here's the moment where I think I might be the arsehole. I told them, maybe if you didn't forget about her money and weren't control freaks, then she would trust you more. My parents have told other relatives about the story, and most of them claim that I'm the arsehole for disobeying my parents. So, am I the arsehole? Now, the last line is immediately jumping out to me saying, my parents have told other relatives about the story. You know, they told their side of the story to the rest of the family. So I suggest you correct that ASAP. At 19 years old, you sound like a fantastic brother to me who's just looking out for your sister's best interests. How bloody cheeky of them is it for them to be requesting access to track her money when they seem to be forgetting a few times when she's passed them money for safekeeping? Of course, you're not the arsehole to me in this situation, but according Weston says, I'm so proud of you for sticking up for your sister. She needs someone in her corner. I do want to correct you on some things. Nothing you've written here indicates your parents are good parents. They stole from your sister. Then, when they found out you had her money, they confronted you and actively trying to steal from your baby sister again. Not good parents, not even good people. Also love and control. Loving parents teach you to be an adult, then cheer you on as you take your first steps to independence. You had to literally escape from your parents to get out from under their control. Now they're doing it to your baby sister, and given the level of douchebaggery your parents have exhibited in just this short post, I'd bet your sister has it even worse than you. Since, you know, she has a vagina, she's clearly a second-class citizen. /sarcasm. Do they always try to sabotage your education? Is she allowed to have friends? I'd keep a good lookout for problems. Chances are they're going to step up intensity of their controlling behaviors now that you've confronted them. Formulate an exit strategy for your sister in case it all goes to hell. Good luck, and you're a good big brother. OP responds in about the money issue. Some of the incidents were honest mistakes due to our mum being lax with money in general. When we told our dad about the issue, he often apologized and refunded the money from his pocket, but sometimes the money was not refunded. Her education isn't being sabotaged and she's allowed to have friends. Our parents generally don't interfere in that. According, Weston replies to OP and says, so your mum steals from her and your dad covers. Sometimes, maybe. They try to refuse and destroy her new school laptop. Sounds like interference to me. Sit down, have a big convo with your sister and tell her she needs to tell you everything that's going on. You're in college in a way. Your sister is stuck there for the next couple of years. If this is what goes on in front of you, you know there is more stuff going on when you are absent. I'm honestly not trying to be a jerk to you or your parents, and I truly hope they have an epiphany and start acting better. I respect you so much for taking charge of this situation with your sister, but for now, to effectively fight an enemy, you need to understand them. And yes, kinda have to treat them as the enemy in order to protect your sister properly. I hope it all works out for you guys, and time allows your parents to let you grow to healthy, happy adults. But your story currently sounds like one of those Boru posts that finish with, "So I moved my sister out of our parents' house and we're currently no contact with them." And OP responds saying, "Thank you for your reply. A few clarifications. One, she loved the desktop that I own and she specifically wanted a desktop, so we got her a desktop for her. She's doing schoolwork, some gaming, and also chatting with friends on that desktop. 2, I'm staying with my sisters and our parents as the college is in the same city. 3, I actually offered to move to the dorms, but our parents said no way. Hopefully one day we're able to fully mend relationships. However, my sister needs an ally in the house. And if the parents aren't being one, then I will be." So OP comes in with her update, and they first link the original post and say, "So 2 days after the post, me, my sister, and our parents sat down to discuss the situation. I did apologize for harsh wording on my side, but I reiterated that I will do everything I can to make sure my sister keeps her computer and her money is safe. Here's the surprise. My sister actually kept a decent log of all the money she gave to parents for safekeeping. It is not the whole estimated sum, as she didn't have a log from the start, but I think she logged 70 to 80% of all owed money. Our parents apologized for forgetting about it, and even though they didn't give her the money as cash, they offered to finance any purchases she decides to make up to that amount. We believed it was a decent settlement, so we agreed. My sister is keeping her new computer, but me and our parents did set up some pretty mild parental controls, with an agreement to remove them entirely if her academic performance improves. They also backed down and said they won't try tracking the money in the account I opened with her. However, they did ask my sister to speak to them before making large purchases. They acknowledged that she has the right to manage her money, but they said they want her to be financially responsible. They also offered to be her co-signers if she wanted her own bank account, but she said she is happy with the arrangement she has with me, so we left it at that. Overall, it wasn't the best we could do, but it's a decent settlement and we're back on good terms with our parents. Thanks to everyone who contributed to the original post. Your feedback was very valuable and it helped me pick a right approach. Have a nice day, everyone." And if I'm being completely honest, I'm not sure how I totally felt about that update afterwards. I know OP says, it's a decent settlement, which I totally get, but at the same time, it still felt like, and I know the sisters are minor and they're the parents, etc., but it just felt like it just left me wondering how much money there was for the sister to be keeping a log of all this money and them offering to finance any purchases rather than giving her the money as cash, which I totally understand about financial responsibility, etc., but it just didn't feel like that's what they were thinking. It wasn't about the sister's best interest. It felt more about control more than anything. I don't know. You have to let me know what you guys reckon on this one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Our next story does come with an update as well from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from Virgo514 and says, "Am I the arsehole for telling my husband he works for himself, not for our family? My husband and I have known each other for 6 years and have been married for almost 3 years now. We have a 1-year-old and we're expecting another baby. Our marriage has been full of emotional highs. We love each other and let the other know regularly. My husband has a 9-to-5 job, after which he is also a tutor. It started this back when we were in college and it was never an issue. He has always had enough time. Even in the years leading up to the marriage and the first year of our marriage, this was never a big issue. However, in the last year or so, it's become a big issue and is getting worse. He keeps on adding more classes to his schedule. Until last month, we had a red line that no classes on Sunday. He would devote that entire time to us. But last month, he even added a class on Sunday on the excuse that the exams are starting. It started to feel like me and my son weren't a priority to him anymore. Some days he comes home at 11. On other days, he's doing it online, but that's not much better because he still can't give us any time. Last Sunday, I finally spoke out and told him he was neglecting his family. He He was offended and told me that he doesn't enjoy having to work so hard, but he's doing it for our family. This is where I told him that no, I think he does enjoy it. It gives him an excuse to not spend time with us, and that he was doing this for himself, not for us. As things currently stand, our collective income is more than enough. There really was no need for him to add more classes on top of his existing ones. He's doing it for himself at this point. He's literally busy Monday to Saturday, and now he's trying to cross the red line we established for Sunday. We've been on bad terms since his fight. He keeps saying he can't believe that I said he works for himself, not for us. Am I the arsehole here? And we'll start off with Edge Miserable 4381, who says my ex was like this. After many years I realized he was avoidant. He also liked playing the victim and sacrificing so much for the family. He got lots of praise for it. We didn't need the extra money either. All he sacrificed was a marriage and a decent relationship with his children. Hope you can help him see that. Maybe counseling together. I don't know. It sucks though. Dance with Panda says not the arsehole. He sucks because he's neglecting his family and is working 7 days a week. I think it's extremely misogynistic of these commenters to say that because you don't work, that you likely don't understand the family finances. You have a 1-year-old and another on the way. You take care of the entire household too because he's never home, working 9 to 5 and then tutoring jobs. And then he's disrespecting the family by making the sole decision to work on Sundays instead of spending time with his family. Edit. You're working too? Changing this to not the arsehole. He's skipping out on parenting while you're working while pregnant and taking care of a small child. Hope you're able to find an agreement between the both of you. Upbeat says not the arsehole. These people saying you're the arsehole are crazy. Any other time they would be saying boundaries. You both agreed on a boundary. He crossed that boundary. You're telling everyone that he doesn't need to do Sunday. You all are financially stable without it. You asked him for 1 day and he's not giving it to you. He is the arsehole. And a final comment from CJ Boyce who says, my dad is like this, still uses work and whatever other bullshit he can come up with to avoid spending time with me or my brothers. I don't talk to him anymore. My little brother almost never sees him, and the only reason my older brother is in contact with him is because he doesn't want to deprive his kids of a grandparent. My dad's absolute refusal to be a member of our family was a significant factor in my mum divorcing him. You're right to be upset over this. Get a family counselor involved ASAP. Not the arsehole. Oh, that's incredibly sad. Let's move on to OP's update, which says, thank you for the feedback in the last post. The commenters said that me asking him to adhere to the boundaries we established was reasonable. Some comments also suggested that I should not have implied that he works just to get away, so I was a little apologetic as well. After he came back, I decided to talk to him about this. The conversation was a bit of a train wreck. I brought up the fact that our income far exceeds your current and projected expenses, that me and our son were missing him and needed him to spend more time with us. I made sure to stress that I appreciated all that he did. It just seemed like that we're on completely different wavelengths. He said that he kept on taking more lessons and students because he wanted us to have a good standard of living, have better vacations, better schools, a second house. I was dumbfounded. I never knew he felt that way. I stressed our current standard of living was great. We make enough money, and if he thinks that way, there's no end in sight. What if he decided we should also have a third house or something? Right now, I needed him with me. At this point, I kind of lost control and started crying. I didn't mean to. It wasn't something I wanted to do to pressure him or anything. Just the fact that we're at an impasse was wrecking me. I told him I'd been feeling unhappy, but I kept compromising and he reneged on it. After some more crying and consoling, my husband agreed that Sunday should have remained off limits. He gently asked me to give him a pass for one more Sunday because his student exams end next week, and he would make Sunday untouchable the following semester onwards. He also promised to try to resize his classes in order to be able to come back home for dinner, even if it's late dinner. He asked for time to do all this. I'd given it to him, and I know he loves us enough to do what he promised. Thanks for the feedback to their original post. And I think it's fair to say after the update, the responses were pretty, that's not good enough. Here, try to be home late for dinner. You got a toddler and you're currently expecting, you're working too, etc, etc, etc. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our final story does have an update as well, again from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from Dancing Pineapple 4, and says, Am I the arsehole for telling my flatmate that I want to move out because her boyfriend is going to live with us for 2 months? My flatmate messaged me the day before she was due to arrive back home from holiday to let me know that her boyfriend would be coming back to live with us for 2 months and he would be finding a job while he lived with us. He moved overseas to live and work for a year, and then if things didn't work out in the other country, he'd probably move back with her. I was really pissed off. She let me know less than 24 hours that he would be living with us, and she didn't ask either, just let me know it was happening. I said I wasn't okay with it, and I was really clear that this is completely unfair on me and disrespectful. Our house is quite small, and I didn't agree to live with 3 people in a small 2-bedroom house, let alone a couple. She said sorry, but she will do what she can to make sure I'm not inconvenienced. I let her know if this was happening, he'd have to pay his share. I wasn't happy and I wouldn't be around much. We used to spend a lot of time together hanging out and watching similar TV shows, and I let her know that I wouldn't do that anymore and instead would just do my own thing in my room or stay out of the house. She said she agreed with me and she would talk to him. When I got home after work, they were both there like nothing was wrong. When her and I finally got to talk on our own, I repeated everything I had said. She agreed with everything and let me know it's only for 2 months. Hopefully. I asked if he was moving back because I would move out. I don't want to be living in limbo. She said he wasn't and she didn't want to change her life when he would leave. I asked if she was sure because he's here for 2 months and I seemingly got no choice in this, so what if he decides to stay? And then what happens to me? She said she spoke with him and he's really depressed that things didn't work out how he thought in the other country, and she doesn't want to push him or upset him. I let her know that I still wasn't happy about this situation, and she agreed and then nothing happened. I said I wouldn't hang out much. I'm annoyed and I don't want to get so frustrated that I end up saying hurtful things because I feel stuck and unhappy. I thought about it, and even though it's only been a week, I'm still really uncomfortable about it, so I decided to tell her that I want to move out or he needs to find somewhere else to stay for 2 months because I don't want to be uncomfortable in my own house. I feel bad because I know I've put her in a shitty situation because she obviously hasn't spoken to him about all this. Or if she has, they are both pretending everything is fine, making my feelings about this seem very dismissed. Also, if he does move back overseas after 2 months, she's then stuck with a lease she probably can't afford on her own. But I also don't want to be living for 2 months in a situation I never agreed to, and then possibly at the end of it, having to find a new place anyway. Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation at all, and I wouldn't feel bad about this because you're not the one who's put her in a shitty situation, she's put you in one. She moved this guy in without talking to you about it. She just told you he's coming, he's moving in, and that's the end of it. She put you in that situation. And honestly, I'm not sure how leases work, but from stories we've read in the past, she's changed how many people were living in there, so surely your landlord's not going to be happy about that. And the comments were pretty much saying the same thing, that you're not the arsehole at all. She's put you in the shitty situation, etc. A lot of people talking about, the lease and that you could probably all get kicked out for this. OP did respond in an update and says, "Thanks to everyone who commented on my first post. I'm sorry I didn't reply, but I read all your messages and it was super helpful. So I've ended up being able to organize moving out. I gave her a month's notice and I'm being removed off the lease and moving elsewhere. It's been incredibly uncomfortable. I think in the end I didn't deal with it well. This was all happening just before Christmas, which is shitty. I spoke with her again and was firm. She let me know that she understood and he'd be leaving for a week before coming back for a short time and then leaving again. I thought this would be okay, but he never ended up leaving and suddenly it was Christmas Eve and she was cooking the 3 of us a Christmas dinner while I was at work. I felt awful because I was still mad and annoyed that she once again seemed to lie to me, and yet I couldn't be angry that he was still there because it was Christmas and she was cooking a dinner. I didn't want to participate and accept those nice gestures when I felt like it was all fake. My coworker convinced me I had to say something. I felt horrible, but she convinced me, and although I probably ruined my flatmate's Christmas, I think it needed to be said. I let her know that I was sorry, but he never left. and since she didn't stick to what she said, I would now be leaving. She cancelled the dinner and wouldn't speak to me when I got home. Later told me that she asked him to stay because she didn't want to be alone. She was upset that no one considered her feelings and that she was distressed because she couldn't please both of us. She would rather I speak with him directly instead of using her as a middleman. Oh, dearie me. I was confused and asked if I had a guest she had a problem with, would it be her responsibility to kick them out? I've been venting to my best friend about everything that has happened, and in hindsight, that was an awful mistake, as she is friends with my flatmate. But she's recently decided she doesn't want to be friends with this person anymore, if that is how they treat people. Which is all my fault, and I've tried to convince her otherwise, but she won't budge. I didn't want to move out. I enjoyed living with this person. But unfortunately, I couldn't let the blatant disregard for the fact that it's also meant to be my house go. And so the next week I move out. I do feel bad about how this all went down, but I also feel relieved. I bet you do. Not the bad, just relieved. You shouldn't feel bad in this situation at all. Like I said in the last post, she's the one who's put you in this situation. And then says, I'm just the middle person in this, when she invited this guy over. And kind of like you said in that post, the Christmas dinner just sort of felt like it was like manipulation, trying to get in your good books with him. Let's get around the table, maybe bond in some way, and then you'll forget about it, you know. I'd absolutely be pissed off if someone moved into sort of my living space without any consent, you know. Again, just more weird ass logic that someone thinks that's acceptable. But anyway, what do you guys make of this situation? Have you yourself ever been in like a weird roommate situation like that? Had to deal with some drama? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, truly. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.